From the PEP Radio coffee shop, this is the Hourly News Blast. LGBTQ Nation is reporting Oklahoma, which ranks among the worst states for education and is facing a teacher shortage, recently unveiled its ideological purity test to weed out woke teachers. It's already being criticized as, quote, performative bullshit, in part because it's impossible to fail and exists almost entirely to push right-wing anti-transgender talking points. In July, Republican State Superintendent of Public Instruction Ryan Walters announced that his department was partnering with conservative, anti-LGBTQ plus nonprofit Prager to develop an ideological purity test for teachers relocating to the state from states with a, quote, woke agenda, like California and New York. The so-called teacher qualification test, which anyone can take for free online, has an introductory page that says this initiative is a direct response to the increasing politicization of our schools through harmful promotion of gender-affirming care that undermines parental authority and confuses young children. PragerU stands firmly against this ideological assault. We here at PEP Radio stand firmly against PragerU. Though the exam largely focuses on basic questions about U.S. history and government, 5 of the test's 34 questions focus on LGBTQ plus issues, mostly transphobic bullshit talking points. Here are those questions and their answers, and mind you, these were written by someone who passed 8th grade science. What is the fundamental biological distinction between males and females? Answer, chromosomes and reproductive anatomy. Hey, I gave you that one. You can go take the test now. Question 2, how is a child's biological sex typically identified? Answer, visual anatomical observation and chromosomes. Really? Oh, so you can do that while they're fully dressed, right? Right? Which chromosome pair determines biological sex in humans? Answer, XX and XY. Okay, but what about XO chromosomes? Or XXX, or XYY, or XXY, or, well, there's actually 47 different possible pairings of chromosomes, but you would have had to have passed more than just 8th grade science to know that. You probably would have needed somewhere around 2nd or 3rd year worth of biology in college. And if you didn't get that far, you wouldn't know that. And anyway, why does that matter in English literature? Why is distinction between male and female considered important in areas like sports and privacy? Again, who cares if it's mathematics that you're teaching? To preserve fairness, safety, and integrity for both sexes. What did the Supreme Court rule in 2025? In the 2025 case, Mahmoud v. Taylor. Answer, public schools cannot require participation in LGBTQ-themed instruction without parental opt-out, because you might actually get kids thinking in ways that their bigoted parents can't handle. While the final question above is factually correct, the 4 preceding it merely echo idiotic transphobic right-wing bullshit talking points used to deny trans people entry into gendered spaces and sports teams. Numerous biologists have pointed out that there are at least 40, count them, 40 different known variations of intersex sex characteristics, some of which include XXY. Oh, I just said that. And XYY. I said that too. Chromosomal combinations. So I passed at least college biology, which, by the way, I did. Walters has bragged that over 16,000 people have taken and passed the tests, ignoring the fact that most of those test takers are probably not even teachers, but just people curious about the exam. In fact, since 2020, only 19 out of 573 out-of-state applications for teaching in Oklahoma came from California or New York because the teachers in those states would prefer not to ever live in Oklahoma. I mean, who wants to move to the tornado state? Meaning that woke teachers aren't flocking to the state in the first place. Hemant Mehta of the anti-Christian nationalist website Friendly Atheist called the test performative bullshit, like I said earlier in this newscast, noting that it's impossible to fail because it makes test takers re-choose their multiple choice answers until they choose the right one, or what the test considers the right one. He also noted that the earlier versions of the test completion certificate misspelled the word certify, and that upon finishing the test takers are shown a page encouraging them to make a donation to PragerU. Oh, nothing better. You complete a bullshit test only to be hit up for a donation to a bullshit university, which isn't even a university, just goes by that name, PragerU. This is an advertising campaign for PragerU masquerading as an assessment. It isn't. It is definitely not an assessment. Meta wrote, "It won't stop outside teachers from working in Oklahoma, whoever they are, because it was never intended to do that. Walters just wanted to promote a conservative group using his government job, so he told the media he was imposing this test on blue state transfers. He's not, he can't, and people fell for it anyway." The Walters had previously said that teachers who don't pass the test won't be allowed to teach in schools. It may be illegal since it oversteps the legal bounds of his office. Walters, who wants to ban LGBTQ plus books but teach the Bible in public school history classes, has previously pushed the transphobic lie about schools providing litter boxes to students who identify as cats. Perhaps he identifies as a human and he's allowed to continue in his job. I digress. He also referred to teachers' unions as terrorist organizations and illegally tried to make rules banning LGBTQ plus books and transgender bathroom access in schools. As a retired teacher, let me tell you something, Superintendent. Okay? Mr. Walters, you have no business running an entire state's worth of schools. You don't even have any business running a nursery school. Please leave education as fast as you can and let professionals handle it. He has appeared at events hosted by Moms for Liberty, a right-wing anti-LGBTQ plus parents' rights group that has been called an extremist hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center, probably because they are. He also appointed Kaya Reichik, an anti-LGBTQ plus activist who goes by the name Libs of TikTok online, as a library media advisor for the state, even though Kaya has absolutely no educational experience, doesn't reside in Oklahoma, and has made posts that have led to bomb threats against students. Way to go, Kaya. You're a terrorist, and you didn't even know it. Rob Miller, a Democrat running for Walters' position in 2026, issued a statement saying, "Honestly, it felt like an 8th grade pop quiz. No studying, no effort, barely a second thought, and that's precisely how Superintendent Walters got his job in the first place." Families deserve more than political gimmicks. They deserve leaders who will do the real work of supporting teachers and improving student outcomes. And if you want that, get the hell out of Oklahoma and move to a state that actually values education, because Oklahoma has consistently landed dead last across the board, dead last in education, from literacy to mathematics to science education to world language. Heck, they don't even know the rest of the world beyond their borders. But believe it or not, Kansas, that's to your north. Texas, that's to your south. Colorado, that's to your west, as are New Mexico. And to your east, well, to your east is Missouri. And I'm surprised any of you in Oklahoma that follow Superintendent Walters are aware of that. And you know what? That's News Blast for this hour. If you're watching our videos on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe to our channel. PEP Radio is now available on the Live 365 app, the PEP Radio page at paequality.com, Roku, and Alexa. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.